When self-publishing books on the Amazon Kindle Direct publishing platform, should you go with the free ISBN that KDP provides, or should you purchase your own? Not even sure what an ISBN is or why you need one? Then stick around. I will tell you what an ISBN is, why you need one, and when it makes sense to go with the free one that KDP provides versus when it's a better option to purchase your own. If you're new around here, my name is Rachel Harrison-Sund, and I help people to create passive income selling journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct publishing platform. If that sounds like something you're interested in, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I put out one of these videos, which is each and every Monday. Okay, so an ISBN is an international standards book number, and it's basically just an identifier for your book. It identifies the publisher of the book, the title, the format that the book comes in, the edition, certain physical properties like page count, trim size, that sort of a thing. And you're going to need an ISBN for every different format that your book comes in. So whether that's paperback, hardcover, any electronic formats or anything like that. And you're always going to be asked for an ISBN when you are self-publishing a physical book on KDP. So just a quick side note, if you're publishing an ebook, you don't have to provide an ISBN. Amazon is instead going to provide you with its own version of an ISBN called an ASIN. So you won't have to worry about it for ebooks, but since we're talking about physical books here, you will be required to enter an ISBN. And as I said, you can either purchase your own, or KDP is just going to provide you one on the spot for free. Okay, so let's just talk about the benefits and drawbacks of each one. The one provided by Amazon is obviously going to be the easiest one and the cheapest because it's free. So if you want that free ISBN, super easy. When you're setting up your book, behind the scenes here on the KDP dashboard, it's going to ask you to provide a print ISBN. And all you need to do is make sure that you've got Get a Free KDP ISBN selected, and then you're just going to hit this yellow button. That's it. You're going to be good to go. Now, there are a couple of potential drawbacks to using this free KDP ISBN. The first one is that you and/or your brand name is not going to be listed as the publisher. So this may or may not be a big deal to you depending on what your end game is here, but I've just pulled up this random planner. And if you scroll down, you'll just see the publisher is just listed as independently published. So you can argue that that really doesn't look as professional as if you were to scroll down and see that this was published by, whatever, XYZ publishing company. Having that official brand name listed as the publisher definitely is going to look a little bit more professional. So that's something to keep in mind. The other drawback here, which is probably the bigger drawback, is that if you use the free ISBN that KDP provides, you are not going to be able to publish your book anywhere else other than Amazon. So the free ISBN from KDP can only be used on KDP for distribution to Amazon and its distributors. It cannot be used with another publisher or self-publishing service. So if you use your own ISBN to publish your paperback, you can use that ISBN to publish your book elsewhere. So this is probably going to be the biggest deal breaker for anyone who wants to maintain the opportunity of having a wider distribution and doesn't want to be limited just to selling their books on Amazon. So if you want to buy your own ISBN in the United States, you can buy them from a website called Bowker, or you can try and find a local ISBN agency in your area. Bowker is considered to be the official place to buy ISBNs if you're a publisher who's physically located in the United States. Now, there are some other places that will offer you ISBNs, but you've got to be careful with some of these, as some of them won't actually list you as the publisher, which 9 times out of 10 is going to defeat the purpose of why you might want to buy your own ISBN to begin with. So there's 2 main benefits of buying your own ISBN. And the first one, like I've already mentioned, is you're going to be able to list your own name or brand name as the publisher of your book. So that is going to look a little bit more professional, a little bit more credible than having a book with KDP listed as the publisher. If that's something that's important to you, then that's definitely something to consider. The second main point here, and probably the biggest benefit, is that if you use your own paid ISBN, you are going to be able to sell your book on platforms other than the KDP platform. So it's going to give you much wider distribution opportunities than if you were to just use KDP's free one, in which case you're just tied to the KDP platform. Now, the biggest drawback of using your own ISBN is it is expensive. And what I'm talking about here is like $125 for one ISBN. So if you're publishing at scale, this can rack up pretty quickly, although there are options to buy ISBNs in bulk, but you have to buy them in large numbers. So you can buy them, I think, in sets of 200, 500, and then at the top of the scale, you can spend $1,500 and that will get you 1,000 ISBNs. So obviously there's some good value there, but you do have to fork out quite a lot of money upfront. All right, a quick note to my fellow Canadians. If you are in Canada, you can get a free ISBN by applying through the Canadian ISBN online system. I think that's what it's called. There's a link to that in the description below. One thing to note though, especially if you're a low content publisher, there are some differences in what type of books are eligible for ISBN here in Canada than what you would find in the United States. So for example, in Canada, certain books like puzzle books, coloring books, agendas, which I assume includes books like planners, are not eligible for ISBN, where I've noticed on the Bowker eligibility chart, some of those books are actually eligible for ISBN. So you can compare in the two charts that I've left links to in the description below. But that's just a note for you Canadians. You might want to check that eligibility. And if your book isn't eligible, as you know, if you're publishing low content books, I think the vast majority aren't going to be, then your best bet is probably to use KDP's free ISBN. So once again, when you're behind the scenes here setting up your book details, rather than hitting the get a free KDP ISBN button, you're just going to choose use my own ISBN. You're going to enter that ISBN there, and then you're going to enter the imprint underneath. And that's basically what you're going to want to show up as being the publisher of your book. So that's something you would have set up previously when you purchased your ISBN. So the benefit here obviously is that whatever you have set up as your imprint, you are going to be able to see that as the publisher on your book. So again, I've just pulled up another book here and you'll scroll down and you can see that the publisher is now listed as Pretty Simple Books. So this person has clearly provided their own ISBN, and now as a consequence of that, this person's going to be able to sell this planner on other platforms other than Amazon. So again, I think that is, well, those are the two main benefits, and the wider distribution is probably, in my opinion, the biggest benefit of all. So just tell me quickly in the comments below, if you've self-published a KDP before, do you purchase your own ISBN or do you normally go with the free one that KDP provides? Let me know. Okay, so what happens if you have already published a book and you suddenly decide that you want to change your mind? Maybe you've published a book using KDP's free ISBN, and now suddenly you want that book to be available for wider distribution, so you decide to purchase your own ISBN. What can you do about that? Now, unfortunately, once you've already published your book on KDP, you cannot just change the ISBN. But what you can do is unpublish that book, and then you can publish it again as a different edition with the new ISBN that you've purchased. Now, the big drawback that I can see to that is, of course, you will most likely lose all of your reviews. Now, I don't really have any experience with this. Maybe there's someone out there that will leave a comment and say, hey, I had success publishing my book again with my own purchased ISBN, and I contacted Amazon and they were able to move all my reviews over. If you've had some sort of success like that, let me know. I've never heard of it. But yeah, do let me know in the comments. So who should use KDP's free ISBN? I think if you're a hobbyist, someone that's just maybe publishing for fun, then I think the free ISBN is a really good option for you. I also think if you're someone that's publishing books at scale as part of a business model, whether that's fiction, nonfiction, or low content, then, you know, buying a ton of ISBNs may not be financially feasible for you and probably isn't necessary. I've been publishing for a few years now, and I've never actually purchased my own ISBN. I always use the KDP free ISBN. Now, who should purchase one? I think if you might consider yourself a little more serious author and you want the credibility of having your particular brand listed as the publisher and you don't want KDP listed as the publisher, I think then you're probably a good candidate for purchasing your own ISBN. And if you're someone who's really interested in making sure you keep your options open in terms of having that wider distribution opportunity that publishing under KDP's free ISBN doesn't give you. If that's something that's important to you, then I think you should purchase your own ISBN in that case as well. Now, if you want some more information on ISBNs, if you want links to Bowker, the Canadian ISBN agency, if you want to take a look at those eligibility charts, I've linked to all of that information in the description below. So there you have it. Now, if you're interested in learning how to generate passive income selling journals, planners, notebooks, and more on the Kindle Direct Publishing platform, then be sure to download my free guide, How to Create Your First Low Content Book in Less Than a Day. I've left a link to that in the description below. You can also join my free Facebook group, Low Content Profits, in the description below as well. Check out these videos next for more Ask Rachel videos. And if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thanks for watching.